Priyavrata and Uttānapāda sutau Svāyambhuva Manu. So here we see that the dynasties are discussed. Once Srila Prabhupada he visited one life member's house in maybe it is Mumbai sometime back. It is there. He visited along with his disciples. The donor was a very rich man, very big man. So he was showing, because it's a very big bungalow, so he was taking Prabhupada and his disciples and showing all the places. In one room, he stopped at one place and showed a big photo. A group photo. The whole family members' photo was there. So this man very proudly showing, he is my son, he is my daughter, he is my daughter-in-law, he is my son-in-law, he is my sister, my sister's husband. Like that, his whole family. He is introducing those personalities in the photo. Then moving ahead. Then Prabhupada turned towards his disciple and said, see, he is explaining his Maithuna. He explains Maithuna life. He is explaining about his sex life. Family expansion. So what is explained? What is happening in the Bhagavatam then? Bhagavatam is also explaining about so many dynasties, so many generations, so much of progeny. In fact, name after name. So chain of family generations are explained here. See, actually there is a difference, gulf of difference. Din raat farak hai. In this material world, you take up any person or any history for that matter, that history is bereft of Krishna. The families are bereft of Krishna. They take so much of joy in introducing or even remembering, recollecting about the whole family. But they never think how to relieve them from the cycle of birth and death. And more so, they think that they also should live like life like me only. मेरा जैसे ही वो जीना चाहिए. बेटा कब शादी करेंगे, कब शादी करेंगे, कब शादी करेंगे? क्या आपका शादी में इतना खुशी है क्या, इतना आनंद है क्या? There's so much of taklif, so much of problems, issues are there, but still he wants his son to go the same line. He never ever think how to relieve him from birth and death. The Bhagavatam, the other side, the Bhagavatam is explaining about histories. What is the Bhagavatam? Bhagavatam is also, as explained here, Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam is also a history of the great rulers of different parts of the universe. And what kind of rulers they are? Yatha dharmam jugupatahu. Yatha dharmam jugupatahu. They ruled the kingdom according to religious principles. Dharma. Yatha dharmam. As for dharma, they ruled the kingdom. What is dharma? Dharma to sakshat bhagavat pranitam. What directly delivered by the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Bhagavad Gita is directly spoken by Krishna. Bhagavatam is all about Krishna. Everything about Krishna and his associates and about his pastimes. Actually, this should be the history, not the generally today what we study in social studies, no? History books we study. That is not history. You know, history, even in English, it is an English word, but if you try to put it in Sanskrit or Hindi, it is also a sandhi of two words. His story, history. His plus story is equal to history. His Krishna's story. If there's no Krishna in that story, it cannot be history. There's no meaning to such kind of history if Krishna is not there in that story. So, Srīmad-Bhāgavatam describes so many families like this, like Uttānapāda story is coming, Priyavrata story, Kardama Muni, Devahuti. This is about Svāyambhuva Manu's family. So what does history does? Why anybody should read history for that matter? Even in today's context also, why people, the biographies. A lot of movies they keep making about biographies of the people's, accomplished people. So this history is meant for instructions, so that mankind may not repeat the same mistakes what happened in the past. Or they can take inspiration from the people who are accomplished. That is the purpose, no? So Srīmad-Bhāgavatam is a history. Srīmad-Bhāgavatam is also a history, but this history is about Krishna's story, or people who are associated with Krishna, whether rightly or wrongly. Rightly is his devotees, wrongly is his demons. How to conduct your life and how to not to conduct your life. Both examples are set. So, for that purpose, Veda Vyasa is compiled. See, initially this Dharma, the Vedas, instructions, what to do, what not to do in life, that was there in only as just Veda. Veda means knowledge. Just one Veda. But later on, Vyasadeva divided this whole Vedic knowledge into 4 divisions for the sake of helping people to understand the subject matter, because everything is a one textbook, it is very difficult. Like Bhagavad Gita also, the 18 chapters. When Krishna is speaking, he did not tell that now I am starting first chapter, now I am going to start second chapter, now I am going to start third chapter. No, he in the flow, this is all Gita, he is singing. He is asking, now Arjuna is asking and Krishna is repeating. But that for our convenience, based on the subject matters, that was divided. The chapter, the title is given. Divisions, subject matter is divided, divisioned. So like that, the Vyasadeva is divided this whole one Veda into 4 Vedas. Rig Veda, Samaveda, Yajurveda and Atharvaveda. And just before Kali Yuga began, he selected four of his disciples and he started 4 disciplic successions, like 4 paramparas, for 4 divisions of knowledge. He chosen one of his disciple, Paila, for Rigveda. He chosen Jaimini as head of Samaveda, and Vaisampayana for Yajurveda, and Sumantu for Atharvaveda. So that's how, actually Vyasadeva has not written the 4 Vedas. Vyasadeva divided, the Veda is already there. Vyasadeva is not the writer of the Vedas, because Veda is directly coming from Krishna. Of course, Vyasadeva is incarnation of Krishna, is at the time of beginning of the creation, the Lord Dharmata Sakshat Bhagavat Pranitam. It is directly emanated from the Lord. Vyasadeva divided the existing Veda and divided and सौंपा गया है, 4 डिसाइपल को सौंपा गया है, इसको ये डिवीजन को आप एक्सप्लेनेशन दे दीजिए. So that's how even Bhagavatam says, what is that? Mahamuni Krute. Krute, Prabhupada says, Krute means compiled. Compiling means collecting the information and arrange it in a chapter wise or in a book format. That is called compiling. He is not written, everything is already there. But in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, he has awarded this work to the 4 of his disciples and they started compiling. So that's what Vyasa means. Actual meaning of Vyasa, the word, literal meaning of Vyasa means to compile. Vyasam means composition. In the school life, we have to write Vyasa. We have to write Vyasa means we have to write a composition about one subject matter. So Veda Vyasa, the one who has compiled Vedas. That's how his name is Veda Vyasa. So, in the Veda Vyasa thought in the beginning of the Kali Yuga, the Kali Yuga people are very difficult for them to understand the Veda. So he divided into 4 parts, and to preserve it the 4 disciplic sections, different disciplic sections. Then further he compiled, he wrote histories, Mahabharata, Puranas for the people of Kali Yuga. Because he wrote the Mahabharata and the Puranas for the purpose of people who doesn't even have the qualification to understand and assimilate the Vedic subject matter. Very difficult. With the Kali Yuga, Manda, Asumanda, Matayo, Manda Bhagyayi Upadrita. Very difficult for people to understand the Vedic literature. So that's how he has compiled further the Itihasas, Mahabharata and Puranas, so that people who doesn't have that qualification, like to understand the Vedic knowledge, Vedas, one has to be twice born, he has to be Brahmana, not by a Shudra, not a person who is not educated. Person who is illiterate, he cannot understand the subject matter of Veda. So, Sudras don't have an access to the Vedas as such. So, but in Kali Yuga, who is Brahmana, who is Kshatriya, all mixed caste. Practically everybody is Shudra only. Even though they may be wearing Upanayana and the Brahmana caste, Sharma, Chaturvedi, that Vedi, this Vedi, so many, titles are there. But in reality, what Prabhupada said about a Brahmana in Calcutta who is wearing Upanayana, what he is doing? Kya tela? What tela? कोयला पूरा बॉडी पूरा काला हो गया, इवन उपमा तो भी पूरा सफेद काला हो गया. सो कहने का मतलब है वृत्ति. व्हाट कृष्ण सेज इन भगवद गीता, चतुर्विधा भजन्ते माम, नॉट दैट, गुणकर्मै विभागशः, चातुर्वर्ण्यम मया सृष्टम गुणकर्म विभागशः. गुण एंड कर्म विभागशः. कर्म क्या कर रहे हैं? व्हाट इज द काइंड ऑफ कर्म यू पीपल आर डूइंग नाउ? Everybody want to take it government job. Government job means what? Working under somebody, or any work for that matter. Job means working under somebody. Brahmana never works under somebody. Brahma never works under somebody. You see. So today that whole traditions have lost. Very difficult to carry the traditions in Kali Yuga. So that's how Veda Vyasa, when he presented this whole Vedic literature, he has 2 strategies. One is, let me write something which doesn't require qualification to understand. ऐसे लिखूंगा मैं, कोई योग्यता जरूरत ही नहीं है समझने के लिए. Any person should be able to understand. No need of any qualification to read. So anybody can read the Puranas. Anybody can read Mahabharata. You know how to become Dvija. You know how to take Upanayana ceremony. Anyone can hear, anyone can recite. That's how in the villages you see, in the olden days villages में 1-2 आदमी पढ़ा लिखा होगा, है ना? मुंसब बोलते थे, पंचायत में होता था ना मुंसब, top man of the village. 1 or 2 people, और 1-2 विद्वान के जैसे कुछ पढ़ा लिखा होगा. Rest of the villages, they are just hearing. They just hear राम कथा, रामायण, महाभारत stories. खेती से आने के बाद शाम को खाना खा के रात को, वैसे भी पुराना जमाने पे लाइट नहीं था ना, इलेक्ट्रिसिटी नहीं था, थोड़ा कालक्षेप करना चाहिए. What is the कालक्षेप of those days? कालक्षेप means time pass. भगवान की कथा सुनते थे. They were just hearing रामायण महाभारत. And sunte they used to adopt all the values. That is one of the strategies. Second strategy was, he wrote a lot of stories. Mahabharata, huge story. There are a lot of it. It is a huge 1 lakh slokas. Why it is so big? Like a lot of stories are there. Even though it is about one family, but you get into that, so much of detailed stories are there. It's all about genealogy, details of different sages and different kings. Puranas also like that. So we are talking about Bhagavad Purana, which is describing about, again, the stories of Uttānapāda, the great devotee Dhruva Maharaj comes there. So it's all about famous historical personalities. Mahabharata is included in the category of Itihasas, histories, tells the stories about the great personalities. Like Prabhupada says in this purport, how about Yudhiṣṭhira, Ramayana speaks about Lord Rāmacandra. The whole purpose is that understanding the good conduct. What is the proper thing to do in life? That is very important to understand what is the proper conduct. Because the proper conduct is the result of the following the rules. शास्त्र को क्यों पालन करना चाहिए? नियम को क्यों पालन करना चाहिए? नियम इसलिए पालन करना चाहिए एक प्रॉपर बिहेवियर डेवलप करने के लिए. Why these 4 regulatory principles? No meditating, no intoxication, no illicit sex, no gambling. Why? Is it spiritual life or what? No, these are not spiritual life. Like that, so many people in the outside world who don't eat meat, who don't do gambling, who don't indulge in illicit sex. It's not spiritual life. But this is the basic proper conduct, proper behavior is basic requirement for the spiritual life. That's why it's all ABCDs. So, the rules are meant to have a proper conduct in life. And the rules comes from where? Rules कहाँ बता गए? कहाँ बता गए ये 4 नियम ऐसे फॉलो करना चाहिए? It's mentioned in Shastras. Scriptures. So, the great personalities are the living examples of the scriptures. हमको नियम पालन करना चाहिए. नियम इसलिए फॉलो करना चाहिए हमको एक सद्बुद्धि, एक प्रॉपर कंडक्ट रखने के लिए, to have proper conduct in our life. And that is the purpose of why Vyasadeva is compiling all this literature, to give some, especially in Kali Yuga, presented. So, the rules and regulations are there in the scriptures, and the great personalities are the living examples of the scriptures. So, 2 things are there. One is we have scriptures and we have people following those scriptures. And this is called dharma. This is called dharma. Dharma means not just rules. Somebody has to follow the rules. The constitution is there in the form of book is there. But what is the meaning of the constitution if people doesn't follow that? So once people following or practicing rules and regulations, we can see this. We have the system of dharma in place. So that is the inspiration for Vyasadeva to write these Puranas, and Bhagavad Purana is one of the Purana, and which is Mahapurana. Mahapurana means actually Puranas, each Purana describes different subject matters. How many subject matters are described in the Puranas? 10 subject matters. Some Purana describes about 2-3 subjects, another Purana describes 3-4 subjects, but all 10 subjects are described in the Śrīmad-Bhāgavatam. So, all subjects are touched upon, that's why it's called Mahapurana. So, that was his strategy. What was this? That the examples are about the great persons, as an example cited, how dharma should be practiced. What kind of behavior, what kind of conduct one should have. Outstanding qualities. People would remember those qualities and try to follow them. If they keep hearing, that is the advantage. Because Krishna also said in the Bhagavad Gita, Yad yad acharati shrestha tat tat evetaro janaha. Sayat pramanam krute lokas tad anuvartate. Lokas tad anuvartate. People will follow from the conduct of exemplary people. So that's how it's very important, because dharma is not there actually in the just in the letters or in the words. Dharma is actually, what is that Bhagavatam says? Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Dharmasya tattvam nihitam guhayam. Nihitam guhayam. That means the solid truth of religious principles are hidden in the heart of the unadulterated, self-realized persons, devotees. So it is very important to hear people who like to follow. They have to, of course, everybody has a tendency, because everybody wants to do things on their own. Hello, सब लोग independently जो उनको अच्छा लगता है वही करना चाहता है. But simultaneously they want to take some kind of examples who have achieved success in that particular field. If you ask, say, for example, in the parents days, beta aapko acha padhna chahiye. No, I want to become cricketer. Independent nature is coming. He wanted to do what he likes to do, not he was asked to do. That is the independent nature. Even though he wants to do something independently, what he likes to do, even for that also he looks for somebody as an example. The great cricketers, whoever is very renowned persons, they try to take them as heroes for them. So that is the psychology already there in the people, and to strike that, to taking that is the strategy. So here Vyasadeva compiles the great personalities. That is a strategy. Some good examples, of the people to be followed. So these people are actual people. They are not some kind of imaginary, is coming from the mental speculation of some writers. In fact, some religious speaker was telling the Bhagavatam is actually all speculation, wrote some 700 years back, or in 7th century or 8th century it is written. Why? Because Bhagavatam is compiled in a written format. It is presented 5,000 years back, just immediately after the Kurukshetra war over, or probably in the beginning of Kali Yuga, not in the end of the beginning of the Kali Yuga, because the yajna was going on. What Suta Goswami is spoken. Suta Goswami is speaking after everything is over. Parikshit Maharaj, Sukadeva Goswami spoke, Suta Goswami heard that, then later on Suta Goswami is describing to Saunakad Rishis. That was written. Isn't it? Much later is written. First it was narrated by Vyasadeva to Sukadeva Goswami. Then Sukadeva Goswami narrated to Parikshit Maharaj. That time also Vyasadeva is sitting there and hearing, because Bhagavatam is such a narration, the glories of Krishna, glories of devotees. What is that he says? Rasamalayam Sukamukha Drava Samyutam Pibata Rasamalayam. Pibata, that they're drinking the juice because it is emanating from the lips of Sukadeva Goswami. Sukadeva Goswami, of course, Sukha means what? Parrot. Parrot has two qualities. One is it repeats. Whatever you say, it will repeat. There's one quality. So whether here Sukamukha Rasa Drava Samyutam, it is said just because he repeated whatever his father said. No, not in that context. This parrot has one more quality, one more ability. What is that? The parrot sweetens the fruit, ripened fruit. It enhances the sweetness of the ripened fruit by biting it. So Prabhupada says this because he's not just, it has become so sweet just because he's repeating, because it is emanating from the lips of Sukadeva Goswami. That is the quality. He enhanced so much so that the first reciter, the Vyasadeva himself, is sitting and enjoying it. Such a beautiful narration about the Lord, and especially is glorified about the devotees and glorified by the devotees. Such a beautiful narration. So, the personalities were explained here, whether Uttānapāda, Priyavrata, they are not some kind of imaginary, fictional characters. They are real personalities. The only thing is, gap is too big. We saved Gandhi, oh, it's 100 years back, 150 years back, everybody knows. 120 years back, everybody. Still some videos are there. But technology was there and kind of. But the olden days technology is different, no? Olden days technology is different. Now, Duradarshini means Duradarshini, Akashavani. We say that through technology, frequency, you have to. Those days also Akashavani was there. Kamsa was hearing through Akashavani. Isn't it? Akashavani delivered the message to him. And when Parikshit Maharaj retired from the kingdom and goes to Ganga Tatpar, the message reached everywhere. All the munis, all the rishis, the moment is that they did not have 1 month time. Train pakado, flight pakado, no, nothing was there, no? Just he walked and immediately, the moment Parikshit reached there and everybody was there. Because the moment Parikshit reached there to Ganga Tatpar, immediately he was asking, so many thousands of rishis assembled there. He started asking questions to them. Everybody is blinking. No, I am not qualified to answer this. I am not qualified to answer this. आजकल पूछ लीजिए तुरंत खड़ा हो जाता है, मैं गुरु हूँ, आ जाए मैं दीक्षा दे दूंगा आपको. They were not so greedy about the position those days. They are genuine enough. Oh, Parikshit. See, first of all, they understood who is Parikshit Maharaj. Not that they don't know. Many of the people knows. But they know Parikshit Maharaj is such a exalted person, such a great devotee. If he is asking some question, that means he is not a generic answer. We cannot give some generic answer. Generic answer. That person has to be chosen by the Lord. That person who has to answer, Parikshit Maharaj has to be chosen by the Lord. And everybody is so humble. I am not chosen by the Lord. I am not chosen by the Lord. And Prabhupada writes in those purports that how by sincerity, by seeing the sincerity of Parikshit Maharaj in the heart, and the Paramatma in the heart of Shukadeva Goswami inspires him to walk towards Parikshit Maharaj. See? That's the mode. That's what even, Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Thakur said. You sincerely follow, you conduct the preaching, maintain the mutt at the right time, the empowered Acharya will be known to the world. Isn't it? Empowered Acharya will be known to the world. The world will recognize the right time comes. As of now, you form the GBC and continue the preaching. So one should not be eager enough to take the position. Lord will decide. Nowadays people also say, what will happen to Parampara? What will happen to Parampara? 10,000 years, how it will go on? Why you are so much worried? Krishna will decide what will happen. Whether one more Acharya has to come, Krishna will decide, no? So these Acharyas these Rishis and Munis were not so eager to take up the position of Acharya, because they saw that sincerity. Because Parikshit Maharaj is not an ordinary person. Everybody knows. He is such an exalted person who had the darshan of the Lord in the womb of the mother, who was personally protected by the Lord. That's why he is called Vishnu-Rata. Vishnu-Rata? He is the personally protected by the Lord Krishna. Such kind of exalted personality gave up the whole kingdom, gave up the family, gave up the Aishwarya, everything. Oh, there must be some higher purpose. There must be some higher purpose. So, these are very exalted personalities. They are not, this is not mythology like people consider, Rama and Mahabharata. So, that is one of the important factors of the Bhagavatam. It speaks about pastimes and devotees, their exalted position. Very nice. So many examples are cited. Good behavior, good conduct, especially devotees who are associates of the Lord. And from their family, the great devotees are going to come. Dhruva is going to come from Uttānapāda's, as Uttānapāda's son. But it's also a very important thing. It's good to have past examples. आजकल बोलते हैं ना, ओ हमारा शास्त्र में, वेदास में है, विमान शास्त्र है. And what is the use? Ultimately, vimanas are manufactured where? In America. है ना? Boeing, what is that vehicle name? Boeing. Where is it? An American company. Simply you keep telling हमारा शास्त्र में बोलते हैं ना, अरे पास्ट के बारे में, आज के प्रेजेंट के बारे में बात करो भाई. बोलता है नहीं बोलता है. So no doubt, भागवतम में इतना, भागवतम में and पुराण्स में बहुत सारे past examples are there. But also it is important to have present examples. It is very important to take the inspiration. हमेशा कथा सुनते पुराना सुनते रहते, कुछ समय डिवोट्स में भी डाउट आएगा. कर्मीस वैसे भी डाउटफुल रहता है. वो बोलते हैं, मैथोलॉजी बोल देते हैं, डिवोट्स भी वो उनके लिए संभव है, हमारे जैसे लोगों को थोड़ी संभव है. इज इट प्रैक्टिकल फॉर अस टू बी सच, टू लाइक प्रहलाद महाराज बात सुने तो नो व्हाट इज द काइंड ऑफ विश्वास ही हैड, अचल विश्वास, द काइंड ऑफ कॉन्फिडेंस दैट कृष्ण प्रोटेक्ट्स मी, सर्वधर्मान परित्यज्य माम एकम शरणं व्रज. ही जस्ट सरेंडर इनटू कृष्ण, नथिंग एल्स. सुनने के लिए अच्छी लगेगा, लेकिन हमारे पार आएगा तो ऐसे थोड़ी हो सकता है. थोड़ा बहुत हम भी मेहनत करना पड़ेगा ना इस डायरेक्शन में. वो विश्वास से थोड़ी सब कुछ काम हो जाता है. दैट्स व्हेन डिवोटीज जॉइन, पेरेंट्स, हम कौन देखभाल करेंगे हमको, डिवोटी तुरंत बोल देते भगवान देखभाल करेंगे. दिन एक लॉजिक भी दे देते हैं. क्या लॉजिक देता है? हाथी को कौन खिला रहा है जंगल में? पेरेंट्स सोचे को पागल हो गया. सच में पागल हो गया यार. Searching. See, we just repeat as a parrots. We hear and we repeat. So that will become, there is a, what is that called? Reality का and उसका तो बहुत गैप हो जाता है. हाँ? Knowing doing gap, Amitas Pro, nice to explain. Knowing doing gap में आ जाता है. So, exactly. Past examples. And we also have to have now present examples are required. So that to emphasize that spiritual traditions, as that everything is carried on personally. And that is that Vedas, the traditions are carried by these personalities, that Vedas are also held by Guru. You can see the personality of Guru. The Guru is directly representing all these exalted personalities, Vedas. And that Guru choose whom this knowledge should be given. He will choose. Not that मैं भगवद गीता पढ़ रहा हूँ, भागवत पढ़ रहा हूँ, then सब कुछ मेरा, everything should. पढ़ने से सुकृति मिलेगा. क्या मिलेगा? सुन्नताम सुकृतः कृष्ण पुण्य श्रवण कीर्तना. सुकृति मिलेगा, जरूर मिलेगा. बट उसको आपको जीवन में व्हाट इज टू साक्षात्कार होने के लिए, that he has the right to decide. Guru has the right to decide. This person is qualified. I'll give that knowledge to him. If he is not qualified, I will not give that knowledge to him. He uses judgment. Then he teaches. So Prabhupada said, then next question comes, who is that qualified person? How to? Yogi Bhai said, hum bhi chahta hai. We also wanted to, become qualified. Prabhupada says, Krishna is Supreme Personality of Godhead. He is unlimitedly merciful. He is equal to everybody. He is unlimitedly merciful and he is equal to everybody. But still, he showers more mercy to his devotees. He is unlimitedly merciful. He is unlimitedly merciful and is equal to everybody. But still, he showers more mercy to his devotees. Because they have capacity to receive that mercy through service. Even though he is equal. But he showers more mercy towards his devotees because they have the capacity to receive that more mercy through service. So Prabhupada then says, hence one should be very enthusiastic to render more and more and more service. Then from where that enthusiasm comes from? Then the enthusiasm comes from by chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra with Shraddha, with faith and determination. This is the way. If somebody is rigorously chanting, seriously, consciously, attentively chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra, then Prabhupada showers that mercy because Krishna is showering and Prabhupada, Guru, is direct representative of Krishna. He showers that mercy more. So, we have the past examples of Priyavrata and Uttānapāda, great devotees, and we have present example, the Guru who is delivering. And also, we have many advanced devotees, Vaishnavas, who are practicing Krishna consciousness and receiving that extraordinary mercy from Guru and Krishna. So we should take examples, them also, and lead the life. That is the purpose of the Vedic literature, and that is the purpose of Guru Parampara, and that is the purpose of Vaishnava association. Guru, Sadhu, Guru, Shastra, Guru, and Sadhu. That is the purpose. We'll stop here. Any question or comments? We're supposed to read this. Today is Gopala Bhatta Goswami's appearance day. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami ki. We'll read some quotes from quotes on glorifications by Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada has mentioned about Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami in his purports to the Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Srīmad-Bhāgavatam, and other writings, as well as in his lectures. He emphasized Gopala Bhatta Goswami's role as one of the 6 Goswamis, his contribution to Vaishnava Smriti, and his establishment of the Radharamana temple. On his identity and service, these are the quotes. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami, the 47th branch, was one of the great and exalted branches of the tree. He always engaged in discourses about the love of Godhead in the company of Rupa Goswami and Sanatana Goswami. These all are from Chaitanya Charitamrita purports. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami was the son of Venkata Bhatta, a resident of Srirangam. Gopala Bhatta formerly belonged to the disciplic succession of Ramanuja Sampradaya, but later became part of the Gaudiya Sampradaya. When Lord Chaitanya was later informed that Gopala Bhatta Goswami had gone to Vrindavana and met Sri Rupa and Sanatana Goswami, he was very pleased and he advised Sri Rupa and Sanatana to accept Gopala Bhatta Goswami as their younger brother and take care of him. In the Gaura Ganodesha Deepika, it is mentioned that Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami's previous name in the pastimes of Lord Krishna was Ananga Manjari. Sometimes it is also said to have been an incarnation of Guna Manjari. On his literary contribution mentioned in the Haribhakti Vilasa and Shatakriya Sara Deepika, Sri Sanatana Goswami, out of his great affection for Gopala Bhatta Goswami, compiled the Vaishnava Smriti named Hari Bhakta Vilasa and published it under his name. His Holiness Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami was the originator of Vaishnava Smriti in our Gaudiya Sampradaya, and your good self is the worthy descendant of Sri Goswamiji. I hope you will kindly take this matter very seriously. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami compiled a book called Shatakriya Saradhipika, edited the Hari Bhakti Vilasa, wrote a foreword to the Shat Sandarbha and commentary on the Krishna Karnamrita, and installed Radharamana deity in Vrindavan. The subject matter of the Hari Bhakti Vilasa by Sri Sanatana Goswami was collected by Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami and is known as Vaishnava Smriti. This Vaishnava Smriti Granda was finished in 20 chapters known as Vilasas about Radharaman deity. Under the instruction of Srila Rupa and Sanatana, Gopala Bhatta Goswami installed one of the 7 principal deities of Vrindavana, the Radharaman deity. On his humility, when Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami took permission from all the Vaishnavas before writing Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita, Gopala Bhatta Goswami also gave him his blessings, but he requested him not to mention his name in the book. Therefore, Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami has mentioned Gopala Bhatta Goswami only very cautiously in 1 or 2 passages of the Chaitanya Charitamrita. As one of the 6 Goswamis, I offer my respectful obeisances unto the lotus feet of Srila Rupa Goswami, along with his elder brother Sanatana Goswami, as well as Raghunath Dasa and Raghunath Bhatta, Gopala Bhatta, and Srila Jiva Goswami. This is a prayer by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami in Chaitanya Charitamrita. And Srila Prabhupada mentioned in one of the Bhagavatam lecture, one's aim of life should be to serve the Acharyas. Acharya Upasanam. So our Acharya in the Gaudiya Vaishnava Sampradaya, Sri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunatha, Sri Jiva Gopala Bhatta Dasa Raghunatha. So the 6 Goswamis. Srila Gopala Bhatta Goswami ki, Grandhara Srīmad-Bhāgavatam ki, Vishwaguru Srila Prabhupada ki.